and welcome to the show. It is week 7 of the Texas high school football season. I'm your host of COVER1, Matt Trammell. Going to bring in my co-hosts here, James Bellini, Ryan Chadwick. Big week of football. Chadwick, we'll kick to you first. You get a little Thursday action. Are you ready?
Yeah, and I'm just ready that finally glad that district's here, you know? Like all these non-district games are cool. I'm glad football's back and all that, but now it's the games that actually matter, so let's get after it.
That's right, and of course, if you've been reading on San Angelo Live all week, you've been seeing James Bellini's district previews. So, James, you seem like you're really prepared and ready to go for this week.
Oh, I am prepared, man. District is, like Chadwick said, all them pre-district games, there to get you ready. Now, games matter. Before you know it, playoffs will be here. So you're fighting for the best seeding in the playoff you can get. That's
right. If you don't win tonight, you're just putting yourself farther and farther behind. We're going to get to the Central Bobcats first. Of course, their game tonight at San Angelo Stadium against Midland High. But before we get into that, here's a quick message from the Bass Bunch.
Do you have a child with special needs? Well, we have a special day of fun just for you. It's the Fall Festival for Children with Special Needs, sponsored by Jim Bass Ford and San Angelo Live. Join us at Jim Bass Ford Thursday, October 26th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. for games, prizes, refreshments, and candy. Free for children with special needs and their families. The 2023 Fall Festival at Jim Bass Ford at the corner of Houston Hart and Arden Road. Don't miss it.
All right, let's get into the action. The game that everybody's going to be talking about is tonight. That's why this pregame show is coming to you on a Thursday instead of Friday. We got a lot of games to break down, but the first one we are going to break down is the one that everybody's been looking forward to, Central Bobcats. District play starting off in the Little Southwest Conference against rival Midland High. Chadwick, let's go to you first. Break down this game, and then we'll argue a little bit.
So, if you look at the records on the matchup, Midland High is coming in at 5-0 and Central's coming in at 1-4, but it doesn't really tell the whole story of the Bobcats season. Of course, this is a Bobcat team that has lost by they haven't lost by more than one score all season. I think they've lost by an average of 7 points. So they've been in every game that they've played. While on the other hand, Midland High has been playing some really good football. Maybe could have played a couple more 6As on their non-district schedule, but we'll see what they're made of tonight against the Bobcats. Now, this is a Bobcats team that has had 2 weeks to prepare for this Midland High offense, and Midland High likes to keep the ball on the ground. They run a version of the flex bone or the triple option, whatever you want to call it. They do not like throwing the ball. I think their quarterback only has about 600 yards on the year through the air. Meanwhile, they got 2 running backs that are basically combined for over 1,000 yards. On the Bobcat side of the ball, Christian English leads the entire district in offensive production. He has over 1,800 yards of total offense. The Bobcats are very capable of moving the ball pretty much at will. The only times that they've been running into trouble is when they get inside the 20. So at the press conference this week, Coach Crane really hammered that point home that the Bobcats have got to stop getting penalties inside the 10-yard line. They have to find better drawn-up plays or ways to put that ball in the end zone, because if the Bobcats can convert all these yards to points, then they'll be sitting pretty, because this isn't a team that allows sacks, this isn't a team that allows negative plays, and this team doesn't turn the ball over that often. So it's going to be a tough matchup either way for the Bobcats tonight, but I think it's going to come down to one extra special teams play. Maybe that defense gets that key stop or a key takeaway, just to give Central one more opportunity, because they're not going to get the ball much just because of how much Midland High likes to control time of possession. But this is an explosive offense, and if they can put up a lot of points tonight, you pretty much count the Bobcats winning.
Now, we'll get into picks later, but it's no secret that Chadwick's a homer when it comes to these Central Bobcats, so we know what you're going to go with. But James, on the other hand, has maybe a little bit more sense. I don't know. That's for you to judge. But, James, I know you're pulling for the Bulldogs tonight. Why?
I'm not pulling for the Bulldogs. I just think the Bulldogs are going to win. Look, they run the rock. They are good at running the ball. Central has struggled to stop the run in the past. I think it was, who was it, Belton? I think their running back just went nuts on them for like 300-something yards.
Abilene Cooper.
And they lost to Wiley by 10, so they have lost by, more than one score.
Oh, cry.
Hey, man, I'm just. Hey, you want to be accurate? Be accurate. But still, that makes Central look better, though. If they've lost one game by 10, that all their games have been by, I think they lost one by 3, and then they lost one by 8. And like it's been incredibly close. And this team is very young, and you could argue, say, hey man, if they were a little more experienced, they wouldn't have some of the penalties, and maybe that some of these games would have gone the other way. Yeah, but Midland is just running the rock right. I think their quarterback has like 230 yards passing, not very much, but they've been running the ball extremely well. Elijah McCoy, their starting running back, he's got 700 yards and 13 touchdowns. And their Love, their quarterback, has like almost 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. Yeah, they've just been dominating on the ground. Defensively, Dominguez, one of their defenders, has 61 tackles, 2 interceptions. Then they have 10 sacks overall, 7 interceptions as a team. They've been flying around the ball. Or flying around to the ball. So I just think Midland's going to pull this one out. It will be close, though. I do think it's going to be a close game. But yeah, Midland is all the momentum's on them right now. But kudos to Christian English. The kid has been outstanding this year. He does lead the district in yards, and that's very impressive. They cut down them penalties and start swinging some games the other way, though, and this will be it's going to be positive.
All right, Chadwick, go ahead and tell them when and where this game is.
This game is at San Angelo Stadium tonight, Thursday night. Kickoff is at 7 p.m. And, Matt, I know you call me a homer, but the Bobcats have historically played well against Midland High in the last 5 years, so, hey.
Yeah. Look, the Central Bobcats are what they are. We know that they can move the ball. If they can stop those little penalties, I think we could be seeing something happen tonight. Of course, our Central Bobcat action is brought to you by Angelo Bolt. Since 1994, Angelo Bolt Industrial Supply has served the Concho Valley for 29 years and counting. Angelo Bolt is the go-to place for fasteners, power tools, air compressors, safety equipment, and everything in between. Chances are Angelo Bolt will always have what you need when you need it, and in that rare chance they don't have that odd fastener or special part you're looking for, they'll find it fast. No request is too big or too small at Angelo Bolt, 808 Warehouse Road, where customer service is their top priority. Thank you, Angelo Bolt, for bringing us our coverage of the Central Bobcats. Okay, moving into our next game, we're going to stay with a San Angelo team. We've been covering Brady a lot this year, and as well as the TLCA Eagles, and now look at that, they're playing each other. That's right, TLCA versus Brady. James, we're going to have you break down this action, as you know more about the Brady Bulldogs than probably anybody in the entire Concho Valley, as you've watched every single game. So, how is this matchup going to bode for both Brady, and then flip it, how's it going to bode for TLCA?
I think this is going to be one of the better games in the Concho Valley. Brady, against Cristobal, they lost 20-6. They had a big pass play in the last minute of the game that they completed like a 60-yard play, and then they fumbled the ball. But looking at that game, Zeke Jones was out, Johnny Minifield was out, Ashton Ramsey was out. Those 3 players right there are 3 of the big-time contributors for that Brady team out there in McCullough County. And if those 3 are playing, it's going to be a really good game. Lane Honey for the TLCA Eagles, he has been on fire recently. I think he's got something like 900 yards passing in the past 3 games. He's just been on target. Jaden Villanueva, Luis Castillo, just playing out of their minds right now at receiver. Let me see if I got this name right. Natavian Sykes, there you go, is good running back for him. He's also a very good defender. Jeremiah Ballinger is also one of their top defenders. It's just going to be a really good game. They're going to play each other very hard, and if that Brady team is at full strength, I've seen flashes from that team. I think they can put it together, and they can get it done.
So Brady has always been pretty good playing defense, right? Like it's just what their bread and butter is. But on the offensive side of the ball, it just seems like turnovers continue to be turnovers seem to be the thing that hamstrings this Bulldog offense time and time again. I think they're averaging at least 3 turnovers a game or something like that. Like, what's it going to take to turn that around? Like, what do you think that the message is to these guys this week?
Yeah, I think that quarterback out there, Sean Jacoby, I think he is the future out there. But he's very young. When that team needed somebody to step up, sophomore stood up and said, "Hey, I'm going to be the guy." But he has thrown, I think he's thrown 10 interceptions so far this season. And he's played some very good teams. Let's not take anything away from, like I said, it's not excuses. It is facts of what's going on. I think if he can cut down on the interceptions, they can have a very, very good team. And that comes from getting some of your guys back. Zeke in the passing game is very, very effective. Ramsey out there at receiver, he's their guy. You also have Darryl Adair out there, who is a big bruising type back, and they can cut down on them interceptions. They could be, or just the turnovers, they could be very dangerous.
All right, James, go ahead and tell them when this game is and where it's at.
This game is in Brady at 7 o'clock
tomorrow.
Yeah. So get out there, go watch some Brady Bulldog football. Take on the Eagles of TLCA San Angelo.
All right, perfect. And, of course, our coverage for this week's Brady game is brought to you by Destination Ford of Brady. All of our coverage for the Brady Bulldogs is brought to you by the Brady's hometown car dealership. Destination Ford of Brady. Leading Brady's hometown car dealership is General Manager Mark Smith. He and his team are 100% behind the Brady Bulldogs. Every week, Destination Ford of Brady offers the Bulldog deal. This week, the Bulldog deal is the 2023 Ford F-150 that comes with 3.9% interest with approved credit and $2,000 in bonus cash. Mark Smith said there are 14 trucks on the lot right now with 9 different colors and 14 different trim options. This extensive coverage of the Brady Bulldogs is brought to you by Destination Ford of Brady, 110 South Bridge Street in downtown Brady, and that's where you can get the Bulldog deal. Okay, gonna keep rolling here. Next game we're gonna be covering is gonna be the El Dorado Eagles taking on the Water Valley Wildcats. This is gonna be a good one. Of course, the El Dorado Eagles have dropped 2 games this year, and both of them were against some of the best teams around. With that, the Eagles have had 3 impressive wins under their belt. As for Water Valley, the only win they had was in Week 1 against Abilene TLCA. Despite that, they have been in every single one of these games. This game will be crucial when it comes to determine who's going in and who could be missing out in the playoffs. So I think this one is going to be one of the most competitive matchups for all of our games this week. I'm expecting something really, really close score.
All right, Matt. Water Valley is kind of the same story as the Bobcats this year, and in all but one of their games, they're all one-score games, right? We've seen flashes of brilliance from these Wildcats. We know that they can run the ball. That they don't like to toss it around as much as some of these other teams do, but they got a couple of talented running backs, and they can put up some points. Now, no one's really giving them a shot in this one. I think that everyone expects El Dorado to win this game, but what do you think the Wildcats have to do, especially at home, to pull off this win?
Well, it's no secret that the best player on the Water Valley team is that running back, so he's got to show out. We're going to have to run the ball, control the clock, and no turnovers. Last week against Sterling City, they struggled to get that ball moving. They had a few big explosive plays, but they weren't able to keep it going for all 4 quarters. This El Dorado defense is for real. I promise you that. So if you want to go in there and beat them, you got to make sure that you convert and make no mistakes.
All right, Matt, when is this game and where's it at?
This game's tomorrow night. It is in Water Valley. Kickoff is at 7:30. Of course, keep looking on our halftime show and post-game show for all the highlights from that one. Of course, our El Dorado coverage is brought to you by Intertel. Intertel is a proud sponsor of COVER1 football. Intertel has been providing cutting-edge but proven technology for homes and businesses in the Concho Valley. Just like the game of football, good defense is important to winning. Need a security system or camera? Get a free quote today by visiting Intertel.com or by calling 325-658-8375. All right, moving on to our next game. This is another game that everyone's going to be looking forward to in San Angelo Stadium tomorrow night, and that would be the Andrews Mustangs taking on the Lakeview Chiefs. Chadwick, you're going to be at this game. There's not a lot you can say about this one, but at least break it down a little bit and give the north side some hope.
I just want to throw this out there. Lakeview plays in one of the toughest districts in all of 4A football, and the gauntlet starts tomorrow night. And the Andrews Mustangs are favored in this one, but the Lakeview Chiefs have shown that they can score a lot of points and they can score quickly when everything's clicking right. I know that they've had a couple of guys go down to injuries this week, and I was talking to Coach Guevara on Tuesday, and he said that that's something that they're dealing with. So, I'm not even sure who's starting at quarterback this week because we might have had a quarterback injury. But with that being said, Michael Duran out there playing wide receiver is an outstanding athlete. really put the Chiefs on his back at times this season. And it's going to come down to if the Chiefs defense can give the Chiefs offense enough opportunities to score, because we know that Andrews loves to run the rock, Lakeview's more of a spread. I know they can run the ball well when they actually do try to push that, but this is a team who really likes to toss the ball around. So look for Michael Durant to have a big game, but this one could go in a direction that Chiefs fans don't want to go. But Lakeview just needs to go out there and play hard. And hey, it's any given Sunday at this point, right? Friday night. I know it's Texas high school, but that old football saying goes: any given Sunday, any football team can beat the other.
Man, let's talk about the Andrews running back, Jay Sean DeBlaus. I don't know. I'm probably butchering that name. He's got over 1,000 yards. Is there anything that Lakeview defense can do to stop this guy?
I think that Lakeview needs to take advantage of the times that they do bottle him up, because there will be plays that only go for 1 or 2 yards. Like, that's just the way football goes. And so when you get in those second and long, third and long situations, the more of those opportunities you have to put Andrews in that kind of situation to make them throw the ball, the better it's going to be for the Chiefs. If the Chiefs give up a lot of yards on first down, it's just going to make those second and third down conversions even easier. And once the Mustangs get a head of steam going, that's when the time of possession really becomes a factor. And depth is already an issue for some of these 4A schools and below. So once that defense gets tired, that's when they're going to struggle. So bottling him up on first down is going to be really important.
All right, Chadwick, when and where?
The Lakeview Chiefs play tomorrow at San Angelo Stadium. Kickoff is scheduled for 7 p.m.
Okay, very, very excited for that one. Of course, our Lakeview sponsor this week is Texas Bank. Locally owned and governed, Texas Bank is a proud sponsor of COVER1 Athletics. Just like the guys on the field, Texas Bank wants to show you what it means to be a team. From checking to savings to personal loans to commercial loans, Texas Bank is here for San Angeloans with 3 convenient locations. So, when thinking where to bank, use the local guys at Texas Bank. All right, going into our final game of the week. Going to be a good one out in Sterling City. Sterling City Eagles versus the McCamey Badgers. Getting district play started for Sterling City last week, but going to continue on into that. James, go ahead and tell the fans what they need to know about this one.
This is going to be a really good one. McCamey always has a good team out there. That's all they have to do down there in the middle of nowhere is play football. Now, they did pick up Grant Glidewell, their quarterback. He did play at Jim Ned last year, so he's got some good experience. He's kind of their leading rusher. They don't have much of a running game. They do have a very good receiver, and Edgar Quiones. He's got like 700, almost 800 yards and 11 touchdowns. But Sterling City's really good at knocking teams off, off kilter. They, getting them off center. They run heavy scheme. Seth Turner, Ty Turner, Kenyon McCabe are 3 really good running backs for them. And defensively, I think Seth Turner has like 4 or 5 sacks, I want to say. Very good team. And this is just going to be a really, really good game. This district, kind of wide open. I think, Wink's not the same team they were last year. They do run the ball very well. McCamey's not the same team they were last year. They're 2-3. Very wide open district, and this is going to be a good one.
And James, Sterling City's coming off of a big win last week against Water Valley, where they really ran away with that one in the second half. Do you think that's going to help them as they're moving in, just kind of keep on rolling in the district?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they've been rolling, man. Trey Cisco always has his team very well prepared, and they're just gonna keep playing hard, and they like playing for him. Man, he's been there like almost 20 years now. So when you're there for your entire son's, high school, elementary, junior high school career, you've made some friends.
All right, James, we'll go ahead and tell everybody where this game's at this weekend.
This game is, I think it's in Sterling City. Sterling City at 7 o'clock.
7:30.
7:30. My bad.
That's okay. Make sure you watch our halftime and post-game show to see all the highlights from that one. Of course, our Sterling City action this week is brought to you by Hartman Roofing. If you want to stay in the game, don't get beat over the top. At Hartman Roofing, the proof is in the roof. From residential houses to commercial buildings, Hartman Roofing is the roofer you can trust to do it right the first time. To get a quote today, call Hartman Roofing at 325-787-8255. 653-2888. All right, going to move into our coaches segment this week. Went out to Ballinger, talked to Coach Lang out there. It was a really good interview, so go ahead and stick around for that. Before we get to it, though, here's a quick message from the Bass Bunch.
The Nissan Titan can get the job done by flexing its muscle, commanding attention, and tackling the big jobs head on. The fearless 2023 Nissan Titan full-size truck is the truck for you. Right now at Jim Bass, get a new Nissan Titan and get $10,000 off MSRP. At these savings, these trucks won't last long. Come see us today at Jim Bass Nissan, corner of Houston Hart and Arden Road, or shop 24/7 at bassbunch.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. Today we have a very special guest. It's our coach interview for the week, the Ballinger Bearcats head coach, Ty Lane. Coach, I'll start with this whole thing. First of all, just kind of wrap up the whole season as a whole right now. Maybe not look exactly like you wanted it to, but you're moving into district, so nothing else matters before that. So just tell me what you guys learned coming into this week.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and that's what I've been talking to our kids about. Is that we don't like losing. Losing sucks, to be frank. But there's lessons that we've got to learn in how we play for each other, the things that we're doing, how we're executing, maybe how we're not executing. And to be honest, played some really, really good football teams in non-district, and that's not an excuse. It's just the facts, and we've got to do a better job. And luckily, we kind of get to reset where we are coming off an open week and getting ready to go. Try to get after it in a tough district. These teams are well coached. Everybody we play has got good players, again, good coaches, and we've got to reset a little bit and go find our niche and catch on and try to go win some games.
And let's kind of talk about your team specifically. You got two pretty good running backs. You've got Zach Canada and Pena back there, trying to just build an identity going into district. How important is it to get those guys running, get them comfortable?
Yeah, well, and I'm still, even though, we are spread, but man, we got to be able to run the football, and that starts up front with our offensive line, and got some young guys in there that have kind of had to grow up quick, and they've done some really, really good things, and it's hard to look at some of the scores of our games and think that they've done well, but they have done a good job. And then Zach and Aiden, both carrying the football, have gotten better every week. And of course, Zach being a multi-year starter and a returning starter in that, we expect a lot from him, need a lot of his leadership. And then Aiden getting his first kicks on Friday night has done a good job. And we just got to go move the sticks, keep moving those sticks until we can find that pain in the end zone, and hopefully do that enough in the game to tilt it in our favor.
And Coach, just looking at y'all's district this year, it's kind of wide open for those playoff spots. There's several teams that are right about where y'all are currently right now. Like I know that Brady played a monster non-district schedule, and early that they've got some injuries across the board that have really held them back. And of course you got Great Creek who's struggling too. This is still like a very doable district for the Bearcats at this point. What's it going to take to get a win against Early this week?
Yeah, we got to focus on the task at hand, and it's an age-old adage, and like every coach, we just kind of steal from each other. But we got to be focused on going 1-0 this week. I mean, Early's very well coached. Coach Price does a great job. They've got good players. They play hard, and so we have got to go do a better job of executing. That starts with me. Got to make better play calls and put us in better situations. And Coach Chitsey doing the same thing on the defense. And as a team coming together and playing for each other and doing the things that it takes to go win games, and whether it's a type of game where it comes down to a last drive kind of thing or gets into overtime, whatever it takes, we got to be ready to go. And that is what I like about the schedule that we've had is, man, we've played some really tough teams and know that that's going to do nothing but help us moving forward. In terms of district, man, everybody in the district has a chance to go win on Friday night. They're coached well, the kids play hard, and we can't be worried about anything other than going to Early and trying to get the job done.
So through the first 5 games, Coach, it hasn't been your offense hasn't been putting up a lot of points, but you had a week off. You had your bye week last week to get ready for Early. What should we be expecting from that offense now that you guys just had a little bit more time to just gel everything?
Yeah, you might look at those scores and not understand that we are trying to score every time we have the football. And so, man, really had the open week came at a good time for us to get back on our fundamentals, make sure that we're blocking the way that we need to block, and making sure, that we're going through our reads as a quarterback the way that we need to go through our reads. And then, talk to the kids all the time about, man, don't have any doubt in yourself. Your coaches can't trust in you more than you trust in yourself. Just be free to go play and be free to go make mistakes, but get out there and play really, really hard and keep trying to go make the next play.
Yeah, that is one thing. We talked about Brady having a monster schedule. Y'all have had a monster schedule too. Again, we talked about your running backs. Talk about some of your other guys that, maybe deserve some recognition that, have been playing extremely well.
Yeah, sure. Man, our guys have done a good job. We got Manny Gonzalez out there at Z, and being a young guy, even though being a sophomore, he's got some varsity experience. We had to lean on him some last year. Done a really, really good job at receiver. We got Kyle Bullard, Bryce Lopez. We got Jalen Hernandez at sniffer and kind of our two-back set, and he can play some slot receiver. And we got Shane Haney on the edge, and going to be looking at Bryce Lopez a little bit more. I know I said him. And, man, some guys that got a chance to make plays, and it's on our quarterbacks. We've used Kyson Weathers a little bit. We've used Cade Strubbe a little bit, and they both do some things really, really well, and they've just got to build on that and put we got to put ourselves in position to go make plays and really keep moving the sticks until we get into the pay dirt.
So it's not confirmed yet, of course, just because it's not ESPN out here. We're not getting constant updates on player injuries, but up to this point, Early's been on their second or third string quarterback. Do you think that that's something that your defense will be able to take advantage of? Do you think it's going to take like one or two takeaways to give your offense just a couple extra possessions to give you the best chance to win?
Well, something like that. You're coming off an open week. Hopefully, Early's wanting to use that time to get healthy, just as we were, and trying to get things right, and guarantee that they're looking at this and trying to go execute the way that we are, and whoever that they put in there at quarterback and whoever's playing. I know that their kids are going to play hard, and we just got to stay focused on the task at hand, and that's building each other up, playing for each other, and playing that next play as hard as we can.
Of course, guys, this game is tomorrow night. So, Coach, we end the show always with final thoughts. So, in our coach interview with final thoughts from you, get the fans out in Ballinger just excited and ready for this game.
Man, I'm going to tell you what, I love Ballinger fans. They are passionate about their Bearcats, and not just football. They're passionate about everything. This is our first year to have volleyball, and they're showing up and going to those games, and you drive through town, and there's flags flying all up and down Hutchins, and heck, everybody's got the flags out in their yards, and man, these people love their Bearcats, and we love the support, and our kids, they feed off of that. And so all you Ballinger Bearcat fans out there, man, stay in the boat, keep rowing. We're going to be fine. We're going to take it one play at a time. You're going to be proud of how hard you guys play as you have been up to this point, and we're going to continue trying to get this town and this team where they want to go.
All right, thank you, Coach. This has been the head coach for the Ballinger Bearcats, Ty Lang. Coach, good luck.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Ew, that's so gross.
Right now, get 15% off carpet cleaning from Carpet Tech.
All right, great interview there by Coach Lang. Yeah, the Ballinger Bearcats, they haven't started the season that they the way they wanted to, that's for sure, but a lot of football to be played, and of course, like we said in the interview, that district, it's wide open for who's going to get in those playoffs seats. Okay, going into our next segment, which would be the Player of the Week. James, I know that you went out there and you interviewed them. I don't want to reveal it yet, but just tell me some of the candidates, and then go ahead and reveal who is our Carpet Tech Player of the Week.
Man, this week we had some good ones. Sterling City obviously had a very, very good game. Kenyon McCabe, Seth Turner. But our Player of the Week was from six-man Erie County Hornet Wyatt Morris. He had 22 carries for 349 yards. 5 touchdowns. Then he was 1 for 1 for 25 for a touchdown. He had 6 touchdowns altogether, 366 yards, 19 tackles on defense. That kid just played tremendously well. Congratulations, Wyatt Morris.
I mean, 19 tackles on top of 6 touchdowns and over 350 yards on the ground. That is freaking crazy. Of course, before we get into the interview, I want to let you guys know that our Player of the Week sponsor is Carpet Tech. Before we announce the winner, we just want to let you know that Carpet Tech is a proud sponsor of Cover 1 Athletics, and this year brings you the Cover 1 Player of the Week. Carpet Tech is your local go-to carpet cleaner. Remember, if your home is in a wreck, call Carpet Tech at 325-999-5142. All right, here's James Bellini with Wyatt Morris of the Erie County Hornets.
I'm here with Wyatt Morris, the Erie County Hornets, won Week 7 Player of the Week for Cover 1 and Carpet Tech. Man, how's it feel to be Player of the Week?
It's definitely an honor. I took a lot of pride in it, and it definitely feels great. All the work I put in through the summer, and not just me, but my teammates. But, I think the work I'm putting in is finally showing off. Man, talk about it. Y'all are kind of six-man, kind of different kind of football.
Sure.
Talk about Lakey last week, what they tried to do, and obviously what they did do didn't work because you put up 6 touchdowns, man. Just how's it feel like to be kind of that spark plug for your team? It's definitely different. Last year I came, I didn't really I didn't do a lot last year, but it's different. I'll just say that, and I take a lot of pride in it, and I love it. I love knowing that if I'm not on, then other people are gonna have to get on, and it's gonna affect the team. Because it's 6-man. We're not a big team, but we do have a lot of athletes on there, and like I said, it's a lot different from when it was last year, and I'm loving it. As you can tell, I love running. The feeling of getting an open touchdown and running and hearing the fans in the background and your teammates behind you. It's definitely something that I enjoy in football. Yes, sir.
Man, you're a leader too out here. How's it feel to have those guys look at you and look at you? Hey, man, this is one of the guys that we look up to.
It feels great, and like I said, when I get that open touchdown, I'm getting freaking thanked from every side of me. I mean, I'm walking down, huffing and puffing, and people are jumping on my back, telling me great run. And I get on the sideline, I'm hearing it constantly. And, knowing that I have that support behind my back truly makes me just an overall better player, in my opinion. All the support I have from my teammates and the community is just insane, and I'm very grateful for it. And I think people are finally starting to get the leadership role that I'm getting into. They're finally starting to understand it and listen to me, and I can see that through the hustle that they're putting out on the field.
All right, now talk about what's y'all's goal this year as the Hornets.
I think our main goal, and all of us can agree on it, is work as a team, do everything as a team. It's not like a one-person game. For us, I want us to be a team. I want all of us to be at the end zone if one of us scores. I want all of us to be on the tackle if one of us is on the tackle. I want all of us to be there, and that's the main goal. You can face. It's really hard to face a team that works together and is all working for one common goal, and that could be multiple goals in the game. Let's face this guy. Let's stop him and then stop him. And I think if I'm finally starting to see it, and that's why I'm scoring those touchdowns, is because of my teammates blocking for me. I mean, we're all working together to get to a common goal, and that's to win.
I mean, obviously, y'all were right there last year. Is that part of the goal too, to get back to that point,
sir,
get to AT&T Stadium?
That's definitely a goal, is to get there, and I think we have a good chance if we all work together.
All right.
And I'm starting to see it.
All right, this has been Wyatt Morris, Cover 1's Player of the Week.
Ew, that's so gross.
Right now, get 15% off carpet cleaning from Carpet Tech.
All right, great interview there by Wyatt Morris of course, the Erie County Hornets. Great game last week. I don't understand how you have that many yards and that many touchdowns. That is crazy. Before we move on, I will let you guys know that our award sponsor for this season is Yours Truly Engraving and Awards. Every athlete has one thing, and that's their eye on the prize. At Yours Truly Engraving and Awards, they offer engravings, plaques, trophies, and more. This year, Yours Truly will provide awards for all of our Cover 1 Players of the Week winners, and of course, our All-Star team at the end of the year. Go see the folks at Yours Truly today at 2438 Sherwood Way. That is right next to Papa John's. All right, guys, let's move into some picks. Before we get into them, we have to check out what everybody's been talking about, and that is the standings. And by everyone, I mean myself. Chadwick, I'm on top of you now.
I had
Scott's cheating.
I had the Hawks let me down last week, so I don't know what else to say on that, man. I was baffled.
Yeah.
I went like 1-3 last week.
1-3 last week, but your boy was 5-0. That's why I keep telling y'all to listen to me. It finally happened, 5-0. And James, there also was some movement on your side. Looks like our reporter Scott Manchaka has taken your number 1 spot.
He's cheating.
Okay, I don't know about cheating, but before we get into all the picks, we want to talk about, of course, our sponsor of our picks, and that is the Pit Barbecue. Tonight, the Cover 1 crew will be eating on some pit taters. That is some spuds, just packed full loaded with barbecue. Go get some today, 2330 Sherwood Way. That is right there, 2330 Sherwood Way, and tell Jesse that we sent you. All right, Chadwick, let's get into some picks. The games that everyone has been talking about, that would be the Central Bobcats taking on Midland High. Who do you got, and who does everyone else have?
Okay, so again, this game's going to be high scoring. I think the Bobcats have had 2 weeks to prepare for this defense. It's the best that they can be prepared. And I'm going to steal a line from you, Matt. As a former Central Bobcat football player and former team captain, I'm going with my Central Bobcats tonight, and I have them winning 56-49. Now, besides me, I don't really have many other people that are siding with me because it looks like Matt, James, Scott, Yantis, Kimberly, and Arlene are all going with Midland. And me and Ernesto are the only ones rolling with the Bobcats.
Well, it's I mean, hey, I wasn't wrong
Bunch
last
of
week,
haters.
but I dang sure could be this week. I would not be sad if the Bobcats win because I want the Bobcats to get into the playoffs, and it starts tonight. James, moving on to the next one, we're gonna go. Let's see. Brady versus TLCA San Angelo. Who you liking, and who's everybody else got?
Man, if everybody for Brady is playing, if Zeke Jones is playing, him and Darryl Dare like thunder and lightning, bash and dash. You know, they are good running backs. You know, if that receiver's playing, Ashton Ramsey, they can be very, very dangerous. Jacoby has to hold on to the ball and keep his team on the field. You know, he can't be turning it over. But they come out and play how I've seen them, you know, be able to play. I think Brady's going to win this one 28-21.
All right, who's everybody else got?
Oh, everybody else has... Oh, let me see. Let's see. Arlene is going Brady with me. Scott, Ernesto, Yantis, and who's Mahano? Kimberly are all going TLCA. Matt, you're going TLC, or you're going TLCA, and Chadwick is going TLCA, I believe. Or
Brady Bulldogs,
Brady.
man, come on,
Right.
Brady Bulldogs.
All right, Brady, my bad. I get all mixed up over here.
Yeah. All right, so let's keep this thing rolling now. I'm going to go to me next. My game that I picked for this week got to be El Dorado versus Water Valley. We saw the Wildcats last week put up a fight, but it just wasn't enough. And I feel like the same thing's going to happen tonight. El Dorado's defense is playing lights out right now. So I'm rocking with the Eagles. You guys know me.
Yeah,
You're
we
a fan
knew
of Cover 1.
you were gonna rock with the
I gotta
Eagles.
rock with the Eagles. So me, James, Ernesto, Scott, Arlene, and Yantis, we all went El Dorado. But Ryan and Kimberly ended up going with Water Valley. Chadwick, explain the pick.
All right, so Water Valley's been in pretty much every single game that they played this season except for last week. Now, Cisco out there at Sterling City always has his team ready to go, and that's just a really hard offense to play against. El Dorado, in my opinion, is not as good as Sterling City, and I think Water Valley, playing at home, is going to be able to pull something out, and this is my upset pick of the week.
All right. Well, I knew that was gonna. I knew you went against the grain on that one. I could kind of. We were talking before, and I just had to let everybody know why you decided to go there. Going into our next one, game that you're going to cover, Chadwick. It is Lakeview versus Andrews. Break it down.
So the Chiefs enter district play this week in a really tough matchup. Luckily for the Chiefs, it is at home. Andrews likes to keep the ball on the ground, and me and Coach Guevara were talking about it on Tuesday. If they can get Andrews off their tempo, then that's going to be their best shot to win this one, because Lakeview is capable of scoring and scoring big when the offense is clicking. Despite this, I do think it's going to be too tall of a task for the Chiefs tonight, and I have Andrews winning in this one. And looks like Kimberly, Ernesto, and Arlene all believe in the Chiefs, but Yantis, Trammell, James, and Scott Menchaca are all going with the Mustangs.
Look, I don't want to say it, but if you look at the pick standings, whew, may want to look at who you're trusting. James, going to the last game, it's going to be Sterling City versus McCamey in this one. Who you got in this one? I mean, this is a district matchup. You were talking like it's going to be close during your part of this, breaking it down. So who you got?
Yeah, I don't know how close it's going to be. I think Sterling City just controls the clock, and McCamey isn't the same team they were. They can get to that quarterback, keep him off center. Sterling City can really easily take this one. I have Sterling City winning this one 35-32.
And so does everybody else.
Well, I was just so impressed with the way that Sterling City has handled business this year. Like Water Valley's not a bad football team, and they put it to them in that second half. Not only that, but played them rival Miles Bulldogs and made the Miles Bulldogs send them home again. So this is a team who's playing great, and I just don't see that changing.
Yeah, Miles' deal, is put up points, and they did a good job of making sure, hey, you're not going to be able to do that. So, like I said, Cisco's been there for almost 20 years now. He's very well liked, and he's won. He won a state game when they were 6-man, and some of those kids still have all that extra playing experience. Even though it's 6-man, you're still playing. So, yeah, they are. They're flying high right now.
Yep, we'll end up seeing how all of our picks work out. Of course, tune in next week, and we'll break down our pick standings again. Okay, final thoughts coming up in a second. We're going to take one more break. So with that, here's the Bass Bunch.
Do you have a child with special needs? Well, we have a special day of fun just for you. It's the Fall Festival for Children with Special Needs, sponsored by Jim Bass Ford and San Angelo Live. Join us at Jim Bass Ford Thursday, October 26th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. for games, prizes, refreshments, and candy, free for children with special needs and their families. The 2023 Fall Festival at Jim Bass Ford at the corner of Houston Hart and Arden Road. Don't miss it.
All right, thanks always, of course, the Bass Bunch. If you need a car, go get them. Whether you're talking Nissan, Ford, Mazda, anything they got on lot, they're always great. All right, getting into some final thoughts. Chadwick, we'll go to you first. Big matchup tonight, but what else are you thinking about?
Well, the Wall Hawks are opening up district play against the Great Creek Eagles this week, and after last week, I know that Coach Guy feels like they dropped the ball a little bit against the Mason Punchers. Not only did they lose their rivals, but they felt like they are the ones who gave the game away. I know Mason played great, and their defense really sealed it for them at the end, but the Wall Hawks, like the Jim Ned game, felt like they let that one just kind of slip away from them. So as much as I love Coach Teal and the Great Creek Eagles, just watch out tomorrow night, because the Wall Hawks are going to come out, and they're going to come out angry.
Yeah, we saw that the week after Jim Ned. We may be seeing the same thing. James, final thoughts?
I'm going up to the big country. Miles Bulldogs are taking on the Albany Lions, and if you know anything about Albany, they are #1 in the state right now. They're defending state champions, and they've earned that top of the mountain where they're at. So I'd like to see Miles go in and make it a game against them. Go catch him off guard. They have a really good running back, Adam Hill, who is a lot of that team. He's got 6.5 sacks. He's got 800 yards rushing. He is a very, very good player. So go knock him off. Go show the state, hey, we're here to play.
Another game that is going to make everyone, I guess, has their eyes on is this Sonora versus Ozona. You're talking about state contender here. Talking about the Sonora Broncos. We've been talking about them since preseason, since before that, since way before 2 days. We've been talking about these guys forever, and that's because this is when it's going to start. District play for them against the Ozona Lions. We've seen Ozona play really good. You talk about the Miles Bulldogs. Well, they 70-68, so we know Ozona can score. So the question is going to be, can Sonora shut down Ozona, because they're riding high right now coming into District 2. But Sonora, you have state aspirations for yourself, not from us, from yourself, and we've heard it. So make sure you get it done right now. It starts tonight. So, guys, anything else? Anyone else?
They got a pretty good player coming back too, maybe.
Maybe
a little
sneak
bit.
peek. There may be an extra player that we haven't seen all year.
Saw a little bit last game, but
Yep.
Yeah, but we
Dangerous,
got the Reagan,
man. Yeah, we got the Reagan County Owls taking on Forsan tonight as well. So that's going to be another great matchup. This is going to be a good chance for Reagan County to make a statement for their district, because Coach Brown's got those boys ready to play out there too.
Oh, those four teams might be, Sonora, Ozona, Reagan County forced hand, they might be, the teams representing that district in the playoffs. So they're just fighting for seeding right now.
All right, we could go on and on, guys, trust me. But to hear more from us, of course, come to our halftime and post-game show, the Central Bobcats tonight. We'll also be back tomorrow night to cover all these other games, including Lakeview, including TLCA Brady, including all the games that we talked about tonight. So come back. Of course, our halftime show will be during the Bobcats halftime, so make sure you're here for that. And then the post-game show after the game to find out what happened. For everybody here at the crew, Ryan Chadwick, James Bellini, our scorekeeper, Yantis Green, and Judy Hyde, as well as Joe Hyde, the owner of San Angelo Live, and all our reporters, Scott Manchaca, Kimberly Mahano, Ernesto Rodriguez, and Arlene Castillo. Guys, this has been the Cover One pregame show. Make sure you come back, and when you do, we'll see you then.
And just when you thought we were done, we're back. We have a little bit more content for y'all today. Usually on Thursdays, we have head coach Houston Guy on for a Wallhawks press conference. And with the Central Bobcats playing on Thursday night, obviously we're not going to have our regular live daily news show. But we still went out to practice at Wall on Wednesday, and I got to interview Coach Guy, and he had some stuff to say about that Mason game, and then of course a preview for the Great Creek Eagles this Friday. So go ahead and let's take a look at this. All right, joining me now is head coach of the Wallhawks, Houston Guy. Coach, definitely a tough loss against Mason last week. Just go ahead and give me your overall thoughts on that game.
Most definitely a tough loss. I thought our kids played hard. We just came up short in the end, and it's one of those situations you hate to make excuses. We didn't play very good. We didn't play good enough to win, and I take full responsibility on that. And it's one of those situations. It's a tough place to play. You go into Mason, and you're gonna face a tough team with a well-coached team, and it's one of those situations where they played really good, and hats off to Mason. They got the win.
Defensively, y'all held Mason to 14 points, and some of that had something to do with the amount of turnovers that occurred anyway. It might not have even been that 14.
Right, no doubt.
Despite the loss, was that another just positive look on y'all's defense?
There's a lot of things that we walked away that we felt really good about. I think our defense played lights out. There is some big stands in that game that night. We throw a ball that gets tipped, and they run it back down to about the 6. And I think if that ball doesn't get tipped, they definitely don't score on that possession and that drive. And it's one of those things. I felt like we gave them ample opportunities to win that ball game for sure.
And not to mention the guys in the secondary, they had multiple picks. I know Hagan Barbie had a heck of a game too. So,
right. Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah. On offense, again. Mason was big up front. I felt like, from what I saw anyway, that y'all were still able to move the ball on the ground. Was that a positive sign to you, or is it something that y'all feel like you still need to work on?
We got to be more consistent at it. It's one of those things. We got to start taking care of the ball. We got to start taking care of our drives, and we got to make sure we put more first downs. And we got to start making sure we convert those first downs into touchdowns.
Okay, so now non-district's over. The record is what it is at this point. You finished 3-2. Played some really tough teams. I felt like it's a great way to see the growth of your team, to show your mistakes and whatnot. But now looking ahead to district, first off, let's just start with Great Creek this weekend. How do y'all feel about this matchup going into the?
We're going to work on the Hawks. We know we got Great Creek coming up on Friday, but we're fixing the things that the Hawks are doing, and we're not overlooking Great Creek. We're getting ready for Great Creek, but we've got so many issues that we had on Friday night that we addressed a lot of those this week, and we're working on some of our problems. Still getting ready for Grape Creek, but some of the things that we do to ourselves are the reasons we lost that game, and we got to fix those.
So then let's just talk about that. Up to this point in the season, what are several things that you feel like that y'all already have corrected?
I think our offensive line is the blocking up front is coming around. It's not where it needs to be at this point in time. We still got to get better at securing the line of scrimmage. We felt like it got a little bit better, but I felt like Mason exposed some of our blocking up front on Friday night, and so we got to fix some of that.
Let's talk about y'all's secondary again. It's a group of guys that doesn't usually get the same amount of work as maybe your defensive front guys.
Right.
Just because like you play a lot of teams to keep the ball on the ground.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that group's progress?
Those guys have played lights out. We're going to miss one. Ryan Allen, he got hurt Friday night, and we're going to lose him for the season, and that's going to be a major a loss for us. He did so much from offense to defense to special teams, and losing a kid like that, you don't just replace Ryan Allen. It's one of those guys that you're not just going to fit another kid in there and pick up the slack that the things Ryan did for us. And so we got some big shoes to fill there for Ryan. So the kids that come in and play secondary for him, they got some big shoes to fill, and the guys that come in and play for him in the special teams side, got some really big shoes to fill also.
Okay, and let's get on the other side of the ball real quick. Gunnar Dillard, he's now in his second year as a starter, throwing the ball a whole lot more than he did all of last year.
Right.
What are your overall thoughts on Gunnar's performance up until this point, despite the turnovers he had?
Yeah, I think there's some things that Gunnar's doing really good. I think we probably put more pressure on Gunnar than we probably need to. Gunnar does some really good things for us. Gunnar's an option quarterback, and sometimes we ask Gunnar to be a lot more than what he is. He's a very good option quarterback, and so we're going to go back to asking him to be, the option quarterback that he is.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks again for joining me, and go ahead and tell the folks out there when and where the game's at.
The game's going to be at Great Creek on 7 o'clock on Friday night.
All right. Again, this has been head coach Houston Guy of the Wall Hawks. All right, thanks so much, Coach Guy, and good luck to both the Hawks and the Great Creek Eagles tomorrow. Two teams just out of San Angelo are going to do battle, and I hope the Eagles are ready for these angry Hawks. But go ahead and tune back in at halftime for our halftime show. Thanks, guys.